So presumably, Mark, unravel this for us, Sue Gray must have found something which she would have thought was of interest to the police, therefore a law may well have been broken. Fill us in.
Yeah, I think that's a key point here, Eamonn, that Sue Gray really, in delivering that report and clearly the conclusions of the report are there, Scotland Yard have been liaising with her throughout. So initially, of course, the line from Scotland Yard is that in terms of COVID breaches, they don't retrospectively investigate, but that didn't fly with the vast majority of people who felt that it was just, you know, completely out of order, that crimes that appear to be bang to rights in terms of the evidence against those involved should not be investigated. So Scotland Yard changed its tack, and it was liaising, we were told, with the Cabinet Office and Sue Gray throughout the investigation, in the understanding that if anything came to light that warranted a proper investigation, then they would do that. And that is the point we got to yesterday, where really quite unexpectedly the Metropolitan Police Commissioner Cressida Dick, as she was addressing the London Assembly, confirmed that her officers had indeed now launched a formal investigation, and that will have been because of what Sue Gray was finding. Scotland Yard have been happy enough to let her get on with the investigation, because quite frankly, it's far easier for her to do that than for an outside agency like the Metropolitan Police to start trying to secure confidential emails and go through all the rigmarole that's required there. It would have taken far longer. Sue Gray is better equipped to be able to get to these answers a lot more quickly. That is, as I say, appears to be what she has done, and we're now at that stage where we've got this formal investigation launched.
Mark, it is possible that the Prime Minister will now be questioned under caution by Scotland Yard. I just want to draw your attention to the front of the Daily Mail this morning. They're describing us as a nation that has lost all sense of proportion, and inside it says how Boris may be interviewed under caution for an offence that carries a £100 fine.
It's like a parking ticket.
Is this just total overreaction?
Yeah, I mean, let's try and get it into a bit of perspective here. I know that just across the road, where my other colleagues from the political units are, there is this feeding frenzy as they're all salivating over the potential prospect of Boris Johnson being interviewed under caution. But in terms of him being issued with a fixed penalty notice at the end of this, I've got news for them. It ain't going to happen. And there was a key line in the Metropolitan Police statement that I read yesterday that I think indicated that much to me. It says, I have to say that in terms of the investigation, I should stress the fact that the Met is investigating does not mean that fixed penalty notices will necessarily be issued in every instance and to every person involved. Now, the key to that line is that what we're getting here is an indication from the Met that they are going to effectively continue what has been custom and practice in police forces throughout the country during the pandemic, which is large-scale events like parties and raves that have been organised. The people that are issued with the fines at the end of the day are the organisers. So we should be looking and turning our attention to those civil servants who handed out the invitations for people to come to the parties. These are the people potentially, I think, that are in the firing line, thankfully, as far as Boris Johnson is, I'm sure, concerned, in terms of getting these fixed penalty notices. As far as I'm aware, out of the 19 parties and events that took place in Downing Street and Whitehall, I don't think that anyone was suggesting that Boris Johnson actually organised any of them. I may be wrong, but if that is the case, I don't think he's getting a penalty notice.